Hello and welcome. The global economy has been slowing down, but there are opportunities scattered perhaps in many parts of the world. One of the opportunities is the growth constellation, or the growth net as it's called. And one of the companies that's been exploiting this, the growth net opportunity, which is really countries in the ASEAN region and in Latin America, is TCS, or Tata Consultancy Services. Joining me to understand and explain, for us to understand and for him to explain what this opportunity is and how companies like TCS have been capitalizing on the growth net is S. Ramadurai, Vice Chairman of Tata Consultancy Services. Mr. Ramadurai, thank you very much for joining us. So, TCS has, like many companies, Indian companies who have expanded outside, has been an early advancer into these spaces. How does this look today when you sort of, how does this landscape look today when you look at where growth is happening or not happening?
When you look at your own presence from a TCS context, which is more than about 7 years or so, the decision to move into these markets was driven by, number one, the IT penetration was fairly low. Second is, especially in the Latin American region, to penetrate markets which are non-English speaking. ASEAN is slightly different. Number one, English is very well understood, or English is a medium, with the exception of a few countries. But we decided to launch in both these countries with a slightly different proviso that we must engage a lot of locals, both from a cultural, language, sensitivity point of view, and create the jobs on the ground. That strategy, in terms of a proactive investment to look at these markets, has played out fairly well, both in terms of revenue as well as the jobs that have been created in these locations. For example, the Latin American market has more than 10,000 professionals, a similar number in the ASEAN region if you take these various countries.
Working for TCS.
Correct. So, I think we believe that the opportunity to participate in the growth of those countries, create the jobs in those countries, plus create opportunities for TCS on a global basis as an emerging market multinational, has played out very, very well. And that's the theme of this growth net
Right.
also.
Right. So, how does this compare to BRIC, and does this mean it's an opposition to BRIC, or is it an alternative?
I think it is not opposition to BRIC or anything. It's just that the regional and the emerging markets, which are very closely aligned, closely happening places, they have to come together and discuss some of the common issues. The common issues could be under political governance, could be under foreign direct investment or FIs, could be under the social issues of jobs and disparity in the income levels, and mutual learnings which can play out for each other.
So, how would you rate TCS's experience in these countries as opposed to, let's say, the more advanced traditional market for IT exports?
I think the traditional markets have always understood IT because of the longevity they have been in that space. To them, what is the value proposition and how do you quantify that value proposition, and why do I have to come to you beyond cost, has been the question. On the other hand, the Latin American or the emerging markets, the question is, we need a lot of IT help, we need a lot of technology deployment through applications development. Can you help us to build that kind of infrastructure in a way? That's the challenge, and that's where we relate to them. So, the markets are very different from each other.
And how should Indian companies who want to expand or grow look at this entire constellation of growth economies?
I think whether it's a manufacturing company and or a products company or a services company, they must look at these as markets where the learnings from India can be taken to those markets. Here is an opportunity. We are not doing the
and that's simple, as in,
one.
is it a easily exportable?
Absolutely.
Facet,
If you
yeah.
customize it to the local requirements, if you create an R&D or a development center or an innovation center in these countries, cross exchange of ideas through mobility of professionals, then it can happen certainly.
And how would you rate the growth prospects in these economies from an Indian company's point of view?
I think
considering that Indian economy has not been doing.
I think you have to participate in the growth of these countries. These countries are certainly growing, and some of them are at about 6% or 5% or whatever it is. But for the size of their population, these percentages are very meaningful. So, to me, an opportunity here cannot be missed out, because the longer you delay, there is a competitor who is going to walk in, whether it is from the Western countries or from any of the emerging economies.
So what's the flip side? What's the downside to going into some of these countries?
The downside in all of this is always the loss of the land, the labor issues in some of these countries, clarity on policies, the cultural, the language differences can sometimes pose a problem. Latin America is not one country, that's what we need to understand. Brazil is very different from Chile. Chile is very different from Argentina. Argentina is very different from Venezuela. So one has to understand these differences, and mobility of the people is not as easy as we have it here, as an example.
And what about ASEAN?
ASEAN is likely
Indonesia, Malaysia.
a little easier. One, because the English is spoken, understood. But again, because of the local rules, local regulations, Bumiputra rules in Malaysia as an example, are nuances and differences one needs to understand. The local partner whom you identify or the local people you hire have to be completely aligned to your value systems, ethics, and the strategy which you put in place.
So, if you were to say from a company like TCS point of view, where is growth going to come from? Is it going to be geographies or types of changes in technology or business practices? And if so, what's going to be let's say the top 3 drivers of growth in coming
I think
years?
when you take the Western economies, the growth is going to come from newer application of technologies in newer areas. For example, the cloud-based offerings, the mobility and data analytics as an example, the big data as an example are the areas where we are going to be looking at growth. But when you look at the emerging markets, you are going to be looking at affordable platform-based servicing as an example. Affordability has to be kept in mind, and the level of technology which you deploy and using mobile as a platform is going to be a way of life. So I think these differences are to be understood, but the growth is going to come from opportunities which you pick, countries which you pick, within the countries the verticals which you pick. That's the way the segmentation will happen.
So I'm assuming you've traveled to most of these places. So any interesting anecdotes that you'd like to share with us?
I think the anecdotes which I can share are, for example, in Latin America. So the food is a major problem for Indians. I think for a vegetarian it's a lot more complicated. I think that can affect your thinking in a way. So I've had a problem getting the type of food I wanted. But then they are so responsive, where there are a number of Indian entrepreneurs have started setting up restaurants. So I think it's a way of creating business for others and then making sure you get what you want.
Right. Mr. Ramdurai, thank you very much for speaking.
Thank you so much.